Coastal House Estate Agency, and welcome to the first of our coastal market reviews of the South Devon property market in 2022 and what we believe will also be in store for 2023. So last year was definitely a year of two halves. It started off with a really strong buyer's demand for all sorts of coastal properties and with very low stock, which in turn led obviously to prices rising due to the lack of supply for the amount of demand that we were getting. Moving on to the second part of the year, well, with rising inflation, increase obviously in the interest rates, buyers did definitely become a lot more cautious. And whilst they were still around, the sense of urgency I think we've had earlier in the market and had previously been experiencing definitely slowed down. Moving on to 2023, the market in Devon does continue to still be one of the most popular destinations for people to move to, and regularly being featured in Sunday Times top 3 places to live, and Dartmouth in particular is often featured in one of the best coastal towns to live, including according to Time Out magazine and the Sunday Telegraph. So still a very popular place for people to come and move to, which is probably one of the many reasons why we do tend to book the trade when that happens. In the rest of the country, I really would take what you're currently seeing on the news headlines with definitely a pinch of salt. The market is definitely softened, but we still have strong buyer demand. Interest rates may well rise again this year, but long-term mortgage rates have dropped. So that's not what you're hearing in the press at the moment. Obviously, they like to promote the negative news as it makes those very dramatic headlines, which the newspapers are also fond of. So what's the current picture with house prices here in the South Hams? Well, property prices in the South Hams, contrary to belief, did actually rise 8.7% over the past year. So it adds £32,000 to the typical home value, according to Zoopla's latest home index from November 2022. Our area is definitely ahead of the UK average, where prices have still risen, but the average was 7.2% since November 21. So the typical South Hams home is now worth on average £410,000, which is comfortably above the average UK price guide of £261,000. Over the past month, South Hams prices have levelled, but looking back over the last 5 years, the average property value has grown by over 37%. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're a seller, whilst the market is quieter than we had last year, there are still more buyers than sellers. So what that we're creating is the demand is still outstripping the supply that we're getting for coastal properties in the area. This may well change, obviously, as we get closer to Easter, when traditionally more and more people are looking at putting their properties on the market and hoping for the better weather so the gardens look better. But it's more than important ever before really to choose the correct agent to market your home, to really who knows the local market well and can present your home in its best possible way. And if you're a buyer, it's also a great time to buy without the pressure that you were getting last year. There was obviously people having to make their mind up on really, really short viewings. So literally 30 minutes, they'd have to decide if they were buying a house or not. Whereas you do have time now for a second viewing or even a third to really decide if it is the right house for you. So if you want to know more what's happening in the property market in the South Hams, then please do speak to us direct so we can give you all the full facts on what actually is happening in the market and not what you should read on the news. And any other questions at all, don't hesitate to drop me or my team a line and we'll be delighted to get you moving. Thank you.